As obnoxious as the PlayStation fanboys get, you have to give them this: they are nothing if not consistent and unified. So happy Starfield launch day, everyone. I'm recording this on September 6th at 8:30 a.m. Colorado time, and I plan on finally diving into this game once this video is rendering and uploading, and I guess that's all it has to do. And I can't wait for everyone else on the internet to play Starfield for the very first time today. This has been kind of a weird early access period. I'm honestly not sure why they did the early access the way that they did. I mean, by all means, if it works, it works, but like it definitely makes the official launch day feel a little anticlimactic. But anyways, Starfield has officially launched. The Steam numbers are looking juicy, the Xbox numbers are looking juicy, and so far everything looks pretty good. But since September 6th marks the day that Xbox did a thing, that means if you're a PlayStation fan on the internet, you have to either talk shit about it or kill yourself. And at this point, people are they're just digging deep, you know? I mean, I've made how many Starfield Salt videos at this point? It's hard to imagine that they're actually still finding new angles to take with this game. With every video that I make, the more desperate they get. And every time I think we're at the bottom, and they're like, all right, that's the most desperate we can go, you know? All right, we compared Starfield pre-release to Destiny 2. Alright, that's the lowest we can go. But then nope, actually, we reviewed Starfield based on the live action trailer and nothing else. It's like, alright, great. That's the new low bar. Nope, actually, Baldur's Gate 3 came out and it was really good. Therefore, Starfield is going to suck, I guess. You would think they would just let it go at this point, you know? Pull an Elsa, let it go, move on. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 launched on PS5 today as well. You could just go play that after all of the shit you talked about Xbox for not having Baldur's Gate. I can't wait to see how many PlayStation fanboys are actually playing Baldur's Gate this week, because I have a feeling it's not gonna be that many of them. I also just feel the need to point out that, you know, Starfield got a lot of shit leading up to release for its performance on Xbox, and rightfully so. You know, I'm of the opinion that no 60 FPS mode in the current year is unacceptable. That's just not a compromise I'm ever gonna make. Granted, I'm a PC gamer, so really doesn't affect me, but I just found it funny how many PlayStation guys were using Baldur's Gate 3 as ammo against Starfield and also talking shit about Starfield's performance when how's that game running on PS5? But anyways, let's just go through some of the best salty tweets from the Starfield launch day, because it's launch day and there were salty tweets still. Again, you'd think they would have gotten it out of their system by now. So Dave Oshry, I think that's how you pronounce his name, tweeted out something about Starfield cities not having maps and instead having signs that you use to maneuver the cities yourself and learn where everything is, similar to Morrowind. And given the fact that this means there's less hand-holding in the game, you can imagine that some PlayStation guys were furious about this. Hyped quote tweeted it and said Starfield doesn't have a map and instead annoys the player with having to walk and find their way around because of immersion. But no landing or taking off your ship is because it will get annoying after some time, hence why there's just fast travel instead. Xbox logic. Yeah, those things aren't equatable, in case you didn't realize that. Starfield is a game about traversing the map and exploring the map on foot, so equating that to a loading screen that takes you from planet to planet, you know, on foot section to on foot section, that's kind of stupid. And also, it annoys the player with having to walk and find their way around without a mini-map. Boy, oh boy, I got news for you next time you leave your house. He wasn't the only one. The Red Dragon quote tweeted this and said, in 2023, you can pull up a map anytime on your phone. Go to any mall in America or large building and see maps that say you are here. In 2330 Starfield, none of that exists, and that's great, kids. The cope for terrible design decisions on this game is wild. I love this. I said this in a previous video, but a lot of PlayStation guys seem to hate Starfield just instinctively because it's pretty much the opposite of what Sony told you a good game is supposed to be. Also, I didn't hear any of you guys talking shit about Ghost of Tsushima not having a mini-map. Didn't Ghost of Tsushima have like a more immersive HUD style to its open world? I didn't hear you guys talk any shit about that. But anyways, like, yeah, I guess it'd be nice to have a mini-map that you can pull up, but I really don't see the problem in a big immersive RPG with not having that. Just learn the map, explore the environment. Like, genuinely, why is the lack of hand-holding such an issue to these people? You don't need a big green line pointing to where you're going next in order to be, in order to have fun in a game. Shouldn't Elden Ring be the biggest example of that too? Hyped was on a roll today. Final Fantasy 16 first week sales 3 million versus Starfield 2 million, and he tweeted this out before the launch of the game even happened, by the way. If Final Fantasy 16 was a flop, then Starfield is a disaster. Early access is just a fancy way of releasing the game while not making day one on Game Pass look like a lie. What the fuck does that even mean? So first of all, you're comparing Final Fantasy 16 in its first week to Starfield before it's out and before we even have official numbers. The numbers you're using here are from Play Tracker. And look at this, all it says is 1 million plus. That's it. You really think only 1 million plus on Xbox and 1 million plus on PC? You really think that's all that's happening? You think that's where we're capping out? I also want to point out that I'm recording this on Wednesday. The game launched on a Wednesday. It's not going to peak on a Wednesday morning, you fucking goofball. Like, I don't know why they chose to launch this game on a Wednesday. I'm scratching my head at that one still. But you're comparing the first week, the full week of Final Fantasy 16 sales, and comparing that to Starfield pre-release estimates for a game that launches on a Wednesday. Oh my god. Interesting observation. Starfield peak players at full launch today was roughly the same as early access launch. September 1st, 234,000. September 6th, 250,000. Same hour, 2 o'clock UTC. Which, in case you didn't know, 2 o'clock UTC on Wednesday is 8 p.m. on Tuesday in the States. Because a Tuesday evening is totally where this game is going to peak, you fucking doofus. With an existing player base, you'd expect a much higher increase than 7%. Okay, because apparently I have to spell this fucking nonsense out for you. The game had its early access period for the last 5-6 days, and the fact that it's maintained this many people over its early access period is impressive on its own. But now we're at launch day, and he took this screenshot at about 3 a.m. Colorado time. So just keep that in mind. 3 a.m. on a fucking Wednesday is when he took this screenshot, and it's seen a 7% increase over the peak of the early access period. I really don't care about anything else. That's impressive on its own, especially when we're talking about numbers that big, and especially when we're also only talking about Steam. These numbers are just Steam. It doesn't count Game Pass on Xbox or PC. It also doesn't count all the people who pre-ordered on Xbox, all the people who bought the game day one on Xbox, or the people who are going to buy the game in the opening weekend on Xbox, people who haven't gone and picked up their copy yet, people who haven't downloaded the game yet. It's like the big green go live button was clicked, and immediately you people are like, oh, well, that's the peak of the game. That's as big as the numbers are getting. Huh, that's disappointing. All the while that even if that were true, even if these were the peak numbers, that would still be impressive. Like, fucking good lord. You're like poo-pooing and being like, listen, you'd expect much higher numbers than that. For 250,000 concurrent players on Steam on a Wednesday morning. You're talking about 250,000 people on Steam, and you're like, I was expecting more than that. That's upsetting. Like, what is wrong with you people? Rick's Mix says, yeah, Starfield is the game of the generation, especially after seeing this. Ew. And then he includes a literal cinematic from Horizon Forbidden West. Like, not even gameplay, a CGI cutscene from Horizon Forbidden West, which you can staple me to the wall for this, but I cannot stand this franchise. It is so fucking shallow, and I can't stand it. It bores me to tears. I really did try to get into the Horizon games because they are gorgeous, and technically they are very impressive. Absolutely, they are very technically impressive, but gameplay wise, they make me want to put spoons up my nose, because then I would at least feel something. But, you know, even if you love the Horizon games, I don't know how you can think Forbidden West is the game of the generation. Like, Horizon is the perfect example of a game that looks as pretty as possible while also scratching your serotonin receptor in the most lazy and guaranteed, like, return on investment way possible. Can we at least agree on that? I'm not saying you can't like it. I'm not saying you can't enjoy it. But can we at least agree on the fact that it is putting way more effort into looking nice than being original or innovative? Rated D PhD says, mediocrity at its finest. Starfield is literally the best the Xbox brand has to offer. I'm very happy that I have always put my faith in Sony and Nintendo instead of Xbox. Over under, in 2 years, Microsoft will try to buy Ubisoft and Capcom and hope to compete, decimating those companies too. All of this because of an 86 Metascore. But you put your faith in Nintendo and Sony. Well, if an 86 is mediocrity at its finest, I'm sorry about Marvel's Spider-Man. I'm also really apologetic about Ghost of Tsushima, which is that's even worse than mediocrity. I mean, that's like super mediocrity. That's like mega mediocrity. Oh my god. You people are strange. Wouldn't be a Starfield Salt video without Unleashed, who says, man, who would have thought a niche RPG game from an indie developer would absolutely decimate a hyped Bethesda game 25 years in the making. Congrats to Larian Studios. Now imagine what Spider-Man 2 will do to Starfield. Be afraid, Xbox fanboys. Be very afraid. And then he has screenshots of the Steam charts for Baldur's Gate and Starfield, and then I went to go fact check these charts, so I pulled up Steam charts myself, and the first thing I noticed here was that Titanfall 2 is up to almost 20,000 concurrent players. What the fucking shit happened there? But also, make sure it continues, please, world. But also, I mean, Starfield's not on the Steam charts yet, because similar to other people I've responded to in this video, it is incredibly early, and most of this data is just not final and not public, so it's kind of weird to start acting like it is. But if we want to look at stuff now, as in the moment right now, Starfield is the top seller on Steam. It's above CS:GO and Baldur's Gate. So can we call this one a day? Can we call it a day? Okay, look, I'm tired and I want to drink my coffee. I want to go play Starfield. So I'm gonna edit this video, and your homework for tonight is to go download Titanfall 2 on Steam and contribute to this, because I like to see this. It makes my brain happy. Happy Starfield Day, everyone. Toodles.